everyone. Welcome back to Data with Zach. Today I'm really excited to announce I'm going to be releasing a 6-week bootcamp that is going to be covering a little bit over 45 very long, in-depth videos that will teach you everything that you need to know to really get to the next level in data engineering. So there's going to be 6 weeks. The first 2 weeks are for everybody. The first week is on dimensional data modeling. We will be covering things like complex data types, struct, array. We'll be covering slowly changing dimensions and idempotent pipelines. We're also going to be covering graph data modeling, how to model your data as vertices and edges so that you can learn more about modeling relationships. And then in week 2, we were going to be covering fact data modeling. Fact data modeling has a bunch of pieces to it. The first piece will just be the traditional kind of Kimball data model that is very useful in so many areas of data engineering. And then in second class, we'll be covering complex data types like the dateless data type, which is something that they use at Facebook to very rapidly calculate user growth. And then the third day, we're going to be covering this thing called the long-term analysis framework, which is something that I built at Facebook that allowed Facebook to do long-term analyses 100 times faster. And then after week 2, we will be splitting into 2 tracks, depending on if you're more of an infrastructure-focused data engineer or you're more of an analytics engineer. So for the analytics tracks, we will go over those next. So week 3 on the analytics track, right, we're going to be covering how to build a good pipeline spec. And then we're going to also be covering write, audit, publish, which is a very, very important data quality pattern. And then in week 4 on the analytics track, we're going to be covering analytical patterns. Like, for example, there's one called growth accounting, which is a very powerful way to calculate how many new users there are, churned users there are, but it's more general purpose than that. I've even used this pattern to track fake accounts and other things at Facebook, and I'm really excited to go deeper into the details there. And then week 5 on the analytics track, we're going to be covering KPIs and experimentation. This has 2 lectures. The first lecture is how to build pipelines while thinking like a product manager. And then the second lecture is on how to set up good experiments and how to set up good A/B tests. I'm very excited to teach that because that's really, at the end of the day, as data engineers, if we can supply data to allow good experiments to run, that is a massive, massive win that you can have. And then the final week in week 6 for the analytics track is called data impact training. And on this week, what we're going to be covering is data communication, how to provide business value with your pipelines. And then the final lecture is going to be covering visualization and how to build good, compelling visualizations like executive versus exploratory dashboards, things like that. And that will be the analytics track, and there will be a certificate that you can get if you follow all this content on dataexpert.io. You can get a certificate as well, or you can just follow whatever you want on YouTube as well. So on the other side, we have the infrastructure track. So on week 3, that's when we're going to be opening up PySpark. So in this week, we're going to be covering unit testing PySpark jobs. We have a framework called Chispa, where we're going to generate fake data and actually generate CI/CD pipelines for PySpark. And then week 4 is when we're going to be diving into Kafka and Apache Flink and doing some real-time data processing. It'll be a very powerful lecture and lab that I really find very interesting. We do a popularity contest, and Lulu wins a lot of the time. And in week 5 of the infrastructure track, we will be covering data pipeline maintenance. This is going to cover things like runbooks. It's going to cover things like on-call rotations. It's going to cover just the very non-sexy part of being a data engineer. And then finally, in week 6 of the infrastructure track, we will be doing a deep dive into Apache Spark, different types of joins, how to dive into explain plans, and we will be doing all of this stuff in a very powerful way that is just very interactive. Every single one of these weeks will also have homework assigned to it as well. So you will be able to not just learn from me on YouTube. There will be hands-on assignments that you can run and test and turn in and get feedback on, especially if you are on the Data Expert platform. You will be able to get feedback on as well, because we have really powerful AI that can give you feedback on all of the homework. And so if you go through all of this and you do the entire infrastructure track and the entire analytics track, then you will get another certificate, another YouTube certificate that will be powerful that you can share with your community. And in the end here, this is going to be about 90 hours of content on YouTube that will be published from November 15th until the end of the year. My goal is to publish 1 video a day from November 15th till the end of the year, so starting in 11 days. really buckle up and get ready, because this is going to be a very, very, very exciting time. I really hope to build one of the best free data engineering boot camps that you can possibly make. And it's going to be really, really exciting to see you all there. And I hope that you guys can learn everything that you can possibly learn to be amazing data engineers. And I appreciate each and every one of you in this community. So let's get learning, y'all.